I'm not going to beat around the bush, folks. James Cleverly is thick as mince. And it's ironic that his surname is Cleverly, really. Now, if you don't know who James Cleverly is, he is the current Home Secretary, and he took over that job from Suella Braverman. And if Rishi Sunak, the unelected Prime Minister, was really as serious as he says he is about stopping the boats, then he'd have kept Suella Braverman as Home Secretary and let her do her stuff, rather than sacking her and replacing her with this clown. And it's with further irony that James Cleverly is also a Territorial Army Reserve officer. Now, I've met many a TA officer, and they make regular army officers look like geniuses. And it's because of a Territorial Army officer's selfish stupidity that a member of my regiment lost his life on Op Telic 4 in Iraq, but that's another video for another time. So not only is James Cleverly as thick as mince, he also thinks we're all stupid. But before I go on to what he said for me to make this video, I'm going to tell you a bit about him. He recently joked about a date rape drug. Now, as with my previous videos about comedians and comedy being subjective, when you're the Home Secretary of the British government, you don't make jokes about date rape drugs. I mean, yes, it would be a breath of fresh air to have a British politician with a down-to-earth sense of humour, but jokes about rape and drugging women in order for you to rape them is a big no-no. James Cleverly also used public money, British taxpayers' money, to pay the council tax on his Essex home since 2015. Now, despite him being on a £150,000 salary, which is going up next year, by the way, MPs are voting themselves a pay rise every year, despite the cost of living crisis which they've landed us with. This is another reason we need reform root and stem in Parliament and the House of Lords. And then after all that, he had the bollocks to claim it all back every year on expenses. So that's who James Cleverly is, your classic, typical, bought and paid for, I've made an honest mistake type of MP. Now, as you know, immigration is a massive topic here in the UK, in particular illegal immigration. And as Home Secretary, it's James Cleverly's job to do something about it, which he hasn't. And then he tweeted this, and he says, and I quote, "There were no small boat arrivals over Christmas for the first time since they started in 2018, unquote. Now, there's a very good reason why illegal migrants haven't crossed the channel over Christmas, in fact, over every Christmas since 2018, and that's because of the winter weather. And this year in particular, gale force winds have been all over the channel, making it even more dangerous than usual. And the channel is a dangerous stretch of water. Even the government's own website confirms there are seasonal effects on boat crossings due to adverse weather. So once the crappy weather is over, the illegal migrants will be back at it, paddling like their lives depend on it for our generous benefits system. So James Cleverly, the Home Secretary, clearly wants us to believe it's because of him and the Tory government that the migrants haven't crossed the channel over Christmas, when in fact it's the British weather. And it's quite evident really that the weather is being a better Home Secretary in dealing with illegal migrants than the actual Home Secretary. So there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks awfully for listening.